Now, experts warn Singapore's dengue numbers could remain high next year if work-from-home practices continue and less common serotypes gain ground. The country is grappling with its worst-ever dengue outbreak amid COVID-19, with over 34,000 dengue cases and at least 29 lives lost this year. As part of CNA's Year Ahead series, Melissa Goh looks at what's needed to slow the spread.
People started spending more time at home when the pandemic shut its schools and workplaces. This made them easy prey for the Aedes aegypti mosquito, which dwells in human habitats and usually bites in the day. Cases surged among working adults and school-aged children, like Rani Singham's son, who was diagnosed with the infection on his 12th birthday.
I was very worried, because he was not his usual energetic self. Yes, we were on alert because the area was, on a red zone. It seems to be bad every year, but I think this year particularly.
Until things go back to normal, if people are still spending more time working from home, potentially there will be greater risk for them getting dengue infections. We may see more dengue outbreaks over 2021.
The number of dengue cases in 2020 is more than double the 16,000 recorded last year. Besides shifts in lifestyle patterns, COVID-19 is prompting another change that could cause figures to remain high even in the coming year.
In normal times, probably only around about 10 to 20% of infections actually get diagnosed. Now, this year, because everyone is much more alert to potentially having COVID, if you've got a fever, you'd be much more likely to go to your doctor and get tested. So it's possible that we're not seeing more infections, but we're just being better at detecting them.
A check on reported cases show that less common dengue serotypes are on the rise, a factor that may further drive up the number of cases. This year, there were 2 dominant dengue serotypes in Singapore, compared to just 1 in a typical year. And another serotype is on the rise. The proportion of Dengue 4 cases has gone up about 10 percentage points since the start of the year.
Dengue 4 has not been common in Singapore. So if we happen to have one dengue 4 that has got high epidemic potential, our herd immunity is very low. It may spread very quickly.
Experts say it's difficult to predict how the virus will circulate, but reducing mosquito population, it's one solution that will act against all serotypes.
The mosquito population is still relatively too high, as it is today. We have seen a 16% increase, I think, in the last month. So we need to bring it down.
It's trying out novel methods, such as releasing male mosquitoes that carry the Wolbachia bacterium. When these infected mosquitoes mate with female mosquitoes, their eggs will not hatch. It successfully reduced mosquito populations by over 90% in some areas in Yishun and Tampines.
Along with it, in 2020, we've seen about 60 to 70% less dengue in this area, where we have more than 1 year of release. So that has been very encouraging. We're also looking into exploring landed property to see how we can release in landed areas.
Landed estates have been a hot spot for dengue, with an incident rate that's up to 6 times higher than private apartments and public housing. Flower pots, as well as structures like drains, make them more conducive for mosquito breeding. So residents can do their part by clearing stagnant water, for instance, to keep the virus at bay in the year ahead.